Welcome to an Otherverse showcase video. Today, we're going to be looking at my Tyranids army for Hive Fleet Behemoth, and recalling the story of how they almost didn't happen, but then they did. So, it was about, I would say late 3rd edition. I was in college. My Dark Angels had moved along quite a bit. They were working their way towards being a large army. And I decided I wanted a second army. At the time, the two armies I really wanted were the Sisters of Battle or the Necrons, but they were both all pewter still. And buying a blister pack with 2 or 3 metal miniatures in it was just not something I could do in college. The Tyranid army had just released plastic line. All the gaunts had been replaced. The Tyranid warriors the kit was new then. So I decided to go in that direction. I bought them, I built them, I primed them, and I played them a bunch in college, but kind of forgot about them for years. They sat in a box for probably about a decade before I looked at them again. It was 8th edition, and I was looking through all the models I had to build and paint. This was before I did my Pile of Shame video, but I was starting to feel the pressure from a couple of those armies that were entirely unpainted and still in box. So I decided that maybe I just needed to sell these guys. I hadn't done anything with them. I hadn't played with them in years, so they were about to disappear through eBay. One fateful evening, while Ryan and Nate were over for hobby night, I watched Nate paint an entire unit of Khorne demons in a sitting, and I was intrigued. Contrast paint was fairly new at that point, and I was a little skeptical, but was impressed by how fast they got painted up and how decent they looked. I kind of got peer pressured a little bit into trying it, but next thing I knew, it was like 5 minutes, and I had a painted gaunt that was pretty close to complete and fairly decent looking. So I decided, what the hell, give it a shot. I had painted the Tyranids up in about the span of a month. Over the years I had tried and failed to pick a paint scheme, but while I was painting my Ultramarines, I discovered that Marneus Calgar had a Tyranid head on his base. So I did a little research and found out that it was actually Hive Fleet Behemoth that assaulted Ultramar. Well, I decided that I liked the color scheme and I liked their rules, so it was decided. The contrast paint made it pretty quick. I did use a little regular acrylics to just kind of get a little detail on the carapace, but I was really happy with how the color looked. So yeah, this is not anywhere near my biggest army. It's one of my smallest. It's 2,700-ish points, but I'm pretty happy with the fact that I have an army where I wasn't going to before. So when I picked up the new plastic kits, the first thing I did was build a Hive Tyrant with the wings. The Flyer Ant is pretty fun to kind of deck out with some upgrades and slam forward into your opponent. Definitely causes them to react. They have to deal with it. They can't just let it rampage through their lines. It doesn't usually live long, but what it'll do is it'll take out something useful with it and let the rest of the army get into position. The Zoanthropes, when I originally bought them, they were tall, metal, spindly, top-heavy things. I had a couple of those, but the new plastic kits are pretty great. Supported by a Malanthrope, they can cause a lot of psychic damage, cast a lot of spells, and generally be a threat, especially since they have a pretty good invulnerable save. So they just float there tough as hell and cause some mayhem. Carnifexi? I'm not sure what the multiple of Carnifex is, but the living battering ram thing has always been something that's been great. They're iconic. I've got a couple of them with different loadouts, and chances are I'll end up with a few more just to make sure I have plenty of options, and they're fun. By far my favorite tactic is to get a turn 1 charge off with a full unit of Genestealers supported by a Broodlord. When they have over 10 models and with the extra from the Broodlord, they can do a lot of damage. And the Broodlord can cast Catalyst on them so that they, on top of their 5-up invulnerable save, they also have a 5-up Feel No Pain, and it can be pretty tough to shift them once they take an objective away from somebody else.
So I get challenged to a Tyranid versus Orc melee brawl extravaganza, which obviously I have to accept. I've got two 20-man squads of orc boys. Decided to go a little smaller this time, holding one objective, and he charges in against them with his Genestealers and backed up with a Broodlord.
They came around a piece of terrain and attacked a unit of boys on an objective. He wasn't too worried because he had another unit of boys right beside them to countercharge. I wiped out that first unit.
And I was feeling okay. I knew one squad was basically going to eat it, but the second squad should do the job.
But when his countercharge came in, he did a lot of damage.
Rolled out my attacks and it was looking pretty good. Wounding, great. He had a bucket load of armor saves to make.
So it was something like 35 successes.
Everything's going exactly to plan. Until Tyson touches my dice.
I went to his dice tray and just rolled his dice.
Passed him my dice tray and said, here, roll these. He's got to make a 5-up invuln or a 5-up feel no pain to keep these guys alive.
We were pretty amazed by how many 5s and 6s I had for their invuln save.
Almost every single one of them a 5 or a 6.
But it got even crazier when I picked up those that weren't saved and rolled the feel no pain.
Not just once, but twice.
Ryan was kind of upset. I giggled.
The squad should have been dead 2 times over.
And I think I lost 3 or 4 guys.
But I think only 4 guys got taken out.
I should have lost the entire unit of Genestealers.
An absolute nightmare.
He was not happy with his dice. They were put aside for the rest of the game. They definitely betrayed him. It was really funny. Pretty sure I lost that game still, but it was a good time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Now that the new codex is coming out, I'll probably end up with some more models, and I hope to put out an update video later to see where this Hive Fleet Behemoth army goes from here. In the description below, we have links to the Otherverse Hobby Hangout. We'd love to see you guys join our Facebook community. We'd love to see the army that you have that you weren't sure you were ever going to finish. There's also Instagram there and our website, and the Discord channel where you can just chat with us all day. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back soon. Welcome to an Otherverse showcase video. And ruin the first try.
You can tell that this still gets Ryan. Can't even talk about it.
Yeah.
So emotional.
So emotional.